Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the War for Cybertron Siege Voyager class Iron Storm. So just this particular guy, not the whole pack of three. What we're going to do, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to see how you can use his accessories in both modes. We're going to see how he compares and stands with, of course, some of the other figures and indeed the rest of the rainmakers. We'll see how he looks with figures, in fact, the original owner of this particular mold, and how he still displays with other figures using the same mold as well. So let's get this guy out of the packaging. And as I said, he was one of three figures which were known as the rainmakers. They did make an incredibly brief appearance in the very first cartoon, Generation 1 cartoon of Transformers, and I've got a couple of screenshots which I can show you of that in a second. So as you can see, he's literally just held in by some ties. There's nothing there at all. The instructions all came out as one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set him free and come straight back to you. So then he's fresh out of the packaging. We're going to do some first impressions. And again, apologies, I'm not doing all three. This is to keep the length of the video down and just so people who want to see this particular figure can see this one by himself. Before we get started, here is an image from that cartoon episode I was on about. You can just about make out the other two on the other side as well, Acid Storm and of course Nova Storm. And if I just scroll over, that is them again in their alternate mode. You can just about bake him out there. He's completely, obviously, I suppose, camouflaged with the rest of the background. But yeah, love these figures, love the Tetrajets, and yeah, they've obviously used this mold so many times. Great head sculpt. Is that a smirk? What sort of is it? He looks a little bit depressed, doesn't he? But of course, with the head, you've got full rotation around, up and down, loads of articulation on it. Shoulders, same, to the side, up and down. You've, of course, got the waist swivel as well. Hips, knees, ankles, biceps, wrists. So, yeah, well, you can sort of say that's wrist coming. Yep, you have full wrist articulation, and as you'd expect with these newer figures, loads and loads of articulation. I don't like to dwell too much on the articulation with newer figures because they're pretty much as you would expect them to be. There's lots of it. Right, let's have a look at him in his Tetrajet mode then. Okay guys, as you can see, in the alternate mode and looking fantastic. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. That will be uploaded separately. Couple of reasons: keep the length of this video down and not to spoil it for yourselves. So we've got some lovely battle damage effects on here. We've got, of course, the Decepticon insignia. It just shines. You can see how glossy it is. There's a bit of a light coming off this camera, but it just still looks so good. The translucent orange for the cockpit and at the back, I think, just tops it off really nicely. And considering basically that the whole of the robot is pretty much tucked in all underneath there, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all, to be honest. You know, there's no loose fingers, things like that, or heads that you can see protruding. And again, I know I'm biased, and I've said this on quite a few of my videos, that I love the homage, and I'm going to say to G1, but obviously not the toys because we didn't have one, but just the fact that being a child, you know, 5 years old in 1984, seeing the cartoon More Than Meets the Eye, or I think it was called Arrival from Cybertron in the UK, and seeing these Tetrajets, and of course they were never ever available, so it's so good, and again, so nostalgic for you to be able to get these in their abundance. Let's be honest, there's loads of Tetrajets. Yeah, it's just great. You've got a choice here. You can see they've got loads of holes, any 5mm peg, so you can put it on what would be his shoulders, what would be the back of the wing, the forearm, any fossilizer, target master, battle master, anything you can think of with a 5mm port, including other people's weapons. So for instance, I've just got Acid Storms here ready for another comparison later if you really wanted to. You know, you could proper load them up. Oh, and you can put a couple in each time if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. You just got a choice. And again, that's what I like about it. I like the fact that they've got the playability factor for the kids, and they've got the displayability factor for us adults as well. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to come back for the final time in the robot mode for some more comparisons and some final thoughts. Okay guys, back for the final time with him in his robot mode. That's because this is the way I'm going to be displaying him, and to do some quick final thoughts. So let's have a look at him. And I didn't point this out in the first part, I've saved it for now. We've got to have a look at the battle damage on it because it's something that's so simple and it's something that's so effective. So on the front, it does look quite weathered with all this here, but on the underside of the wings, as you'd expect, is looking really, really neat and brand new. And that's just something really simple that I think they've carried off and made it work incredibly well. Although the transformation process is on a separate video, I am going to very quickly just show you this. What they've done very sensibly and rightly so with the instructions is they've put all three in the one, because of course it is just a Tetrajet and the instructions are exactly the same. I mentioned earlier in the other mode about all the things that you can attach to them. There's just a little part here again there with your pictures of your battle masters, etc. Talking of which, with regards to the accessories, again, you've got an abundance of choice. So on the arm alone, you've got the shoulder, the forearm and the wrist, and you've got the back of the wings. So there really is exactly that. There's loads of places that you can decide how you want to display them. With myself again being I suppose a bit of a homage to G1, I'm going to put the null rays in the top, in the shoulder joints. Okay, before we do some comparisons with some other jets, we're going to do one with Thundercrack. And I think the main reason for this is you'll be forgiven when you're looking at it, especially through this with a bit of light on it. The blues look quite similar, but of course if you have a good look at the actual figure, you've got the red on the underside of the wing. Thundercracker's got the black feet and a little bit more, I suppose, battle damage to him. When you bring him up close, you might just be able to tell the difference in the blues. He's a little bit lighter, Iron Storm is. It's much more apparent from the back, but again, maybe not with the way this light is shining. But yeah, they look, as I say, the Tetrajets. In fact, any Seeker, not just the Tetrajets. The Tetrajets have been around now for so long that they are going to completely do exactly what we've seen here. They're going to completely use the mold over and over again, and I think they can get away with it because the colour differences, apart from these two obviously, are so different and so striking that they really do look like exactly what they're intended to do. Completely different characters. This guy is the original owner of the mould. Of course, it is Starscream. And again, there's so many more. There's Iron Storm, sorry. There's Nova Storm is still in the box. This is Red Wing. We had a shattered glass Starscream mold as well. I'll do a complete collection video of these Tetrajets once I've finished the Nova Storm review. But for now, guys, I hope you enjoyed looking at Iron Storm. Let's make sure I get all the names right. Great figure. Whether or not you need all the rainmakers in your set or in your collection is entirely up to you. If you don't own many Tetrajets, it's a great way to to bolster that collection because of the fact that there's three in there straight away. But I hope I helped you the decision if you wanted to buy it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.